Hello guys, and welcome to another episode or well tutorial, in which today, as you can probably see already, if it is in the screen, yes it is, we're gonna do sort of an eye. I like the look of the watercolor eyes. I've never done one before, but since we're working on these small canvases, papers, are not taped off properly. Okay, you know what? You know what we'll do? Put that out of my way here. This we'll put this right here. Don't know if you can see that or not, but you know what? It's not important. And actually, let's use some painter's tape to just hide the damage. Plus, this will keep the edges nice and crisp and white. Every time I say white now, I get reminded of Angela's remark. Like, at IB language we're studying, which is, IB language is an abbreviation for International Baccalaureates, and language is what used to be culture. We are studying women in the media, and we got this picture, this ad of a woman, and the teacher was like, "She's very what, Angela?" And then Angela needed to like give the answer, obviously, and she said white. She's very white. But yeah, things happen. So, in about a week I'm going to Rotterdam. That's exciting, I guess, sort of. Depends what you think of as exciting. Yeah. I have thought of using this painter's tape before, but then every time I start a project, I'm like in the midst of doing this, and I've already done the background, and then I'm like, you know what I should have done? I should have placed painter's tape on the sides. I'm gonna move this a little bit here because the edges are not properly placed onto the paper, so I'll try to hide that by doing this. Yeah, so the materials for today, you're gonna need water activated tape, or any tape that will stick when in water or humid conditions. You're gonna need some watercolor paper, although some sketchbook paper holds up pretty well too, which, I mean, I don't recommend it, but I'm using like low quality paper too. I have high quality, but not in this size, and I really like to not cut that, because that fucks up the real paper quite a bit. So yeah. So today I'm quite well rested since I took a nap earlier, because I have had a sleeping problem lately, and it's just kind of reminding me of when I was depressed, because I used to have a sleeping problem back then as well, and I'm just kind of hoping I don't fall back to that, I guess. And I hope that art will keep that from happening. So, what else do you need? You need a pencil to sketch this in. Now, I've already done this. You could, for one, you could get like a traceable somewhere, I don't know where. You could print a picture of an eye, copy that, You could do a different eye. You could maybe do a manga eye or anything. It's up to you. You're gonna need several. I mean, these are really low quality things. The only thing high quality in here, or medium quality, is the Sharpie. But this one is so old, it is impossible. So, yeah. And this is just for kids. I bought this pack of 12 of markers. These are felt markers. They're not brush tips or anything. They're just bad, basically. Bought them for like €1 in the Action. That's what the store is called. And then this is just from a set of fine liners. I have different colors, which is pretty nice. You could make. I think I'm gonna do that soon. Is a drawing in which the line art is not made with only black, but with several colors. That has been trending, I believe. And if you're drawing, you're always gonna need your eraser and your pencil sharpener, I guess. Well, unless you're not erasing anything. Which, if you've already made the paper wet, then I recommend you do not erase anything or be very gentle. But then again, if you can't draw before you make the paper wet, because then some of the graphite that's on there will spread because of the water, and then your paper is gonna get all dirty. So, actually, preferably not draw, no. So yeah. I am going to get these lines in, and I think this is not... So this will be the pupil. I'm going to fill that in with a Sharpie because I don't know how well this will hold water and will hold itself against water. And in general, I just don't know the quality of this. And this is a permanent marker, so that should, in theory, be fine. I know that's not completely true, though. Yeah, actually, let me just change to that right now. So, on a Tinkerbell picture I did, I actually used this marker because I didn't know I had this one, and then I got smudges all over it. That was kind of, yeah, unfortunate, I think. I'm gonna be doing another Tinkerbell picture though because my aunt really wants one. Which is fine by me, I mean, money to be made, right? So yeah, what else are we gonna make blackish? Definitely this. I like to put strong lines around eyes, and I don't know why. I think they just remind me of eyeliner. Not that I like eyeliner or anything. I mean, on women it kind of looks good, on men that would just look weird. Like, holy shit, that'd be really creepy. I hope I'm not in the screen, I don't know, I'm just failing to videotape properly. No, I was definitely not in the screen, I think, nah. There we go. I have no elbow space here because there is the construction that is keeping up my camera. you know what, is if something is stopping you from doing that as well, just kind of go on and just reduce the speed at which you're working then, because like you still want to get results, but like it shouldn't stop you from doing anything. That would just be a waste of your time, because art is actually a very good way to fill in your time. Art can be freeing, it's very liberating. It was, for me at least, because of my depression, and as you notice, I talk about that a lot, and that is because it has made a big impact on my life. I have taken a lot of experience from it, and it has made me stronger as a person, and it has actually, I think when I look back at it, it has benefited me as a person. Yeah, it has just really made me grow. Which is why when I do Facebook tests, I get this result in which I have a very experienced soul, or something like that. Okay, now let's do this really quickly. I had these guidelines in, but I don't like them. They are making the eyelashes too short. There we go. I don't know if I should do a small line. Yeah, what the heck. Let's do a small line. My dad or in this case. So yeah, my parents thought I was whispering that you guys couldn't hear me, but then when I watched the video, there was nothing wrong with it. So I guess this camera just really picks up sound well, because I don't have anything like a microphone. I'm literally using one old camera, and that is it. Well, old. I believe we bought it in Malaysia, and that was, how many years would that be ago? I think it was our first time in Malaysia, which was in 2010. So yeah, if you consider 5 years old, then it's more than 5 years old. So this is what I want it to be completely black. If your Sharpie is giving you trouble being opaque, like it is here, but that's fine by me actually, because you could see the line of the eyelid running through it, which is okay. Remember, these sides, like that one and that one, are almost never equal in terms of shading, because if they are, it means the light is coming directly from below or directly from above, or there is no shading, and that means the light is shining directly in it, in which case you would be drawing a closed eye, because no one fucking looks into light directly. So yeah, that is my theory. So I'm kind of assuming we need to let this dry now, which is unfortunate. I don't know if there is a pause button on this thing, I don't think so. So, anxious to work with this. That does go over the materials then, the paints that I use. I am planning on buying a teal for in here and a purple or magenta for in here. Let me know what you think about that, because I don't have those colours currently, and I hate colour mixing with watercolours. It is so difficult because it always seems like I want more pigment in there, and it's just basically impossible. So I use this, I don't know what kind of brush it is. It seemed like, first of all, it should be in here. I don't know where. But it kind of seemed like a watercolor brush. But then I realized all my watercolor brushes are kind of fucked up like this. Although that is not fucked up at all for a watercolor brush. And the one that I was using was this one. Very different. Right? But I use it anyway. This picks up a lot of pigment, so I'm assuming it's probably an acrylic brush, which is a really good watercolor brush. So my colors today are, now I can look at the names. Let's see. Here are the names of my colors for anyone that is interested, because like there was this starter kit of colors, and the box came with it, which made it extremely unnecessarily expensive. So I just bought the loose colors and not the kit. Because that was way cheaper. So I know I have a Payne's Grey over here. I'm using these. These paints are reasonably high quality. I don't know if they are the highest quality, probably not, no, because you have those tiny little blocks. Yeah, this is my Payne's Grey, so that's that, and then I have what I called a crimson, is a Madder Lake Deep, if that tells you anything, or in Dutch Kraplak Donker, in French Lac Garance Foncé, and in German Kraplak Dunkel, and the last language I don't even know what the fuck that is, probably Spanish, Italian or Portuguese, all the same to me. Well, not like that, it's not like I'm racist or anything, but like, the languages, they are very similar to me. This is my permanent red, not my CAD red. And then, this is my permanent lemon yellow, right here. And I have Chinese white, I know that. I have yellow ochre right here. A burnt sienna, which is this one. I have a permanent green. Oh wow, I got a lot of permanent colors, didn't I? Which is this one. They turn out a bit darker here, but then when you put it on paper, they are pretty similar to the color that you got on the package. And I really like these paints. They don't dry out in the tubes, and you get a lot for €3.50 per tube or something. This is called Viridian, and why they didn't just use the word groen in Dutch, I don't know. Apparently we needed to borrow a French word for this specific green color. Fer. Ferimero. Sure. Probably pronouncing that all wrong. Pronouncing it like doing. Faire. Il fait. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Not to be confused with il faut, which means that it's necessary or something like that. Got a cobalt blue, which is my lightest blue, and then I have an ultramarine blue, ultramarine deep blue, my darkest blue, and last but not least is my azo yellow medium. Got it right yesterday. Okay, cool. So those are my colours. I hope this had enough time to dry. If not, well, bad luck. That's basically what I'm gonna say to that. So we're gonna want to start with our lightest color, I guess. And you're going to want to not get into the what's his face highlight with your water. So do this precisely. Like, it doesn't need to be perfect, but pretty close to it would help. It is not a problem if you get some on your black, however, because well, basically you could go over it again with your black permanent marker and the damage will be minimal. As you can see, this is gonna run. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So try to keep off the edges as well. Good learning process, this. Fortunately, it doesn't seem like my permanent marker is running at all. And fortunately for us, the eye does kind of have a shape in which it seems a bit runny. So that is good. Especially the iris, actually, which is not running at all. Like, holy shit. So yeah, let's put in our first color. We're gonna go, there's a hair in here, wow. I think I want a blue eye. Simply because it reminds me of a special someone. No. Yes, maybe. That's too dark though. Yeah. If you get too dark of a blue, I suggest adding more water because it are watercolors, so if you add more water, it's gonna lighten up on you. That's how it works. That also works with really any paint. I don't know how oil works. I'm assuming it'd work too, although it'd probably just be destroyed if you use that technique on oils. I don't know. Again, I never do oils. So yeah, I am looking forward to doing an acrylic session with you guys. I would like that. I think acrylic paint is something a little more accessible for people, because you could get it really cheapo some places, and then don't expect the highest quality, but it's a good means of practice. And actually, I've painted with that low quality for a long time. I still do. It is actually really nice if you're not sure if something's gonna turn out okay, because it's like you're not throwing away any money if you do that. If you paint with low quality paints. Like, okay, your canvas is dealt with something that you dislike, but then again, it is acrylic, so you could just go over it with some white and use the canvas again for something that you might like a little more. So, let's see. I think that looks quite good, actually. Yeah. Someone decided my room to enter my room for the second time in a row today while I'm recording, and creepily stare at me. What's up? Okay. And then he left while giggling. There's my parents for you. Interesting people. Very interesting. To say the least. So, I don't know why my palette is fucking dirty. I'm only washing that soon. There are eyelashes in here. What if I did that? We decided, like, hey, I don't like my eyelashes, let's just pull them out and put them in my palette. Like, was that really me? So again, you can see this brush doesn't hold a lot of water. What it does do is pick up a lot of pigment. If you want a more pigmented color, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to dab it, because every time you dab it, you release pigment. Whereas if you do this, make this movement, you only release pigment once. And that is, and then you're spreading it, so there's less pigment on a certain place. So, let's see. Oh, that's nice and dark. Yeah, what you're gonna want to do if you're doing some sort of emotional eye or something, make it really dark. Like, the contrast should be enormous. You should have this really dark color and then this really light color. And sort of a mid-tone. For the really light color, you could use white. That's not a problem. And watercolors are wonderful because they run by themselves. You don't need to do anything to make them look pretty or beautiful. The only thing is that if you want to make an image of something, you need to know how to handle them. That could be tough to learn. I mean, I'm still learning. I've been doing watercolors for, well, maybe, would it have been 5 weeks? I'm already on sort of this level, which I am quite proud of what I have achieved in so little time, but I think that is also because of my depression. I think without it, I wouldn't have started it, and I wouldn't have the drive that I have to do what I like to do. Because it made me realize that life should be happy. You shouldn't go sitting around looking at all your problems. You should be enjoying life. Because it is so wonderful, and what I think I'm going to do is use some blue to blend it into my blacks, and then my black, not black, so I don't have multiple shades of black in here. And then maybe use a Payne's Grey. To make that a little more realistic. Yeah. Really like the way this is turning out. Okay. I don't know what went wrong there, but we're back. I hope I can sort of edit that so that it doesn't seem really weird or anything. Let's try this for a second and try to make this blend a little more natural. A little more Payne's Grey then. So I decided that maybe this highlight was unnecessary. So I'm taking it out for now. Could always add it again with some white paint. And no one will notice. I don't know how this looks for you, but for me it looks excellent. Just put some more colour in right here. Yeah. I think I'm happy with the way that turned out. So now, what we're gonna do, because I want to make this some sort of colourful eye. Well, no, first of all, we need to somehow do that. Let me look at the picture of an eye real quickly. Well, because we're doing a colourful eye, we could also make it green and purple, but we're not going to. I think what we'll do is make it my lovely reddish colour. Right there. And then also do that a bit in the corners right here. And then fill that up with some yellow. There we go. And now we can start on this and that, aka the sides that you're not supposed to actually colour in any wild, crazy colours. We're gonna have to use the blue again, because blue is the colour of shade. So we're gonna use the blue around here, and there, and here. Or bluish colours, like my dark green could work there, or maybe even my dark red. And those were really all my bluish colours. I think Payne's Grey would work too. actually considering using that. But first let us wet that, and actually I'm going to use a different brush to do that. I don't know brush sizes, if anyone is interested. I do not know. This is a 9. Or a 6. Depending on which way you look at this. Which does not tell us anything at all. Except for the fact that it is labeled with a number. Actually, let's just use this brush. Big brush. My biggest watercolor brush, it's pretty sad. Okay, so, pick up a lot of moisture, don't, like, you could sort of dry the, what's it called, metal. But do not, I repeat, do not dry your brush, because you want this water on the paper. The only way to do that is with the brush. We're not going to cover the whole paper because I'm also going to want to do some fun splattering and blowing techniques. Okay, so let's see. What color are we going to use up there? I think we're gonna start with a green. And I think it's gonna be our dark green. And again, I am not worrying about the black at all, because I could go over that. No problem. Pick up a little more of the green. Make it a little more pigmented. Because remember that watercolors will dry on you lighter than they were. So that means that when you look over here, this is a really dark puddle, and that is because the paper is warping and buckling again. I think that will actually stay pretty dark. But you could also, you can already see it's lightened up. That is mainly because I moved it though. But if you look at the eye, that's a really good example. I had this sort of mid-tone blue right here, and it is almost turned white because well, basically that's what watercolors do. They lighten up on you as they dry, which you may consider a bad thing, you may consider a good thing. I'm not judging. So I'm adding some of my light green over here, because in my world there is more light shining on that, and probably in reality there is too. So let's see. I would like my green to go right here as well, because this way I'm gonna have to stop that from happening, because that will look like shit. It will turn brown on us. Don't want that. There, that's okay. And then let's add that. This green to the outside as well, because we're gonna transition that into a yellow. And then I think in the bottom we'll be using some pinks. So, we go. Got our yellow. I prefer the Azo yellow for some reason, but if you prefer the lemon yellow, then I invite you to do your painting with the lemon one, because, you know, it is your painting, your artistic liberty, free to do whatever you want. Unless you're living in North Korea or any religious state, then I am sorry for you guys. Although, if you're living in a religious state, you will probably not find that you will not experience that as a bad thing, because you are probably raised with the same religion. So if you're not experiencing that as a bad thing, then go you. No, it's not working. I want this effect. I was with my head in the camera. No. Well, that's not the problem. Actually, what we can do to achieve that effect is, well, just pick up some water with my brush. Do that. We could also do that in here though, because, you know, as you can see, it is lighting up on us a lot. If you don't like the light, just add more pigment after it's dried. I promise you, it will not be that light anymore. So, I like that, and then, actually, I'm cleaning in this one. What am I doing? So, that is that, and then, for the bottom, let's see what we can do there. Just wet that as well. So yeah, I'm wondering what you guys think of my art. If you have an opinion, please leave it. And don't give me bullshit about not having an opinion. Everyone has an opinion. You know, if there are things that you think I could have done better, then I'd love to hear them, so that next time when I do a tutorial, I could keep you in mind, or your tip, or whatever. Like, for example, do not, wait for things to dry. Note to self. Yeah. So, I think what we'll do is use a little bit of blue right here, because that is going to go well with the green. It's going to mix. It's going to work. And then, well, that is a really weak colour. Let's add some more. Here we go, that's better, much better. Rinse that out. Because blue transitions into red, well, into purple and then into red, but I'm not going to create a purple. Just going to put the red straight on, and it'll just mix because I don't want watercolours. And I do that, and it is wonderful and fantastic. There we go. And actually, let's bring this out here. So, like that. And then I want some more yellow in there, because the yellow, I think it needs to pop more. So I'm going to take some more of my azo yellow, put that here. It's going to transition neatly into my red. There we go. I think this will be a very dramatic painting, and you could do this on a larger scale if you like to. I think that is actually a really good idea. If you want to. Here I'm using some of my permanent lemon yellow, which as you can see is very different. Reacts to this red quite differently as well. There we go. Actually, let's add some more. Some more. Let's add some more, because this is not neat. There we go. And again, use the same little trick. Get some water on your brush and get this. Pull it out to wherever you want it. A little pop. It'll make your painting pop. Just like this red, you could pull that in here. Won't hurt anyone. And actually, let's get some Payne's Grey and do a little shading right here. Okay, so that definitely went wrong. So I'm taking this away. What we want to do is be quick. Maybe you could like reduce the damage done. I think that actually looks pretty good right there. Gonna want some more actually. Right here, less water. That was really flowy. You don't want to continue it. And also you could use it right here, right? So if you think this does not have enough depth, you could use this, make it a little darker. There we go. Let's touch it up a little bit over here. I think there's going to be some shading over here as well. There we go. And what you're going to want to do afterwards is actually use some white paint and very carefully highlight this little strip of colour that we have right there. So yeah, what I'm going to do right now is good question. I mean, I would like to like cover the white, or well, actually all of this, so that I could splatter on some things. I think that might not work. Actually, what I'll do is I'll use this, let's see, I have a good acrylic brush to do this with. I think this one would be, let's see, now, this one would be okay, so we could do this, yeah, okay, that'll work, I believe, this'll work, I really hope it does. So let's take some of our blue, and wash your hands afterwards, please. Don't be filthy. Very nice. Some more right there. All around. There we go. Actually, let's do some more over here. Some more water. If you use more water, you get bigger splatters. So let's watch that. See how that works. So, luckily you're using watercolors, so they are really easily removable. If we're using a different medium, it will be somewhat more hectic. It looks really weird on the camera though, like the splatters, it looks kind of bad. But believe me, in real life it does not. Please follow my advice and do this. I'm also going to splatter some red on there. Some lovely red. I just love that colour. There we go. A little over there as well. So, after you've done that, please clean your thumb immediately on something like this. You could use paper towels like I do, or you could use an old cloth, use ancient clothing like the one I'm wearing. You can't really see the paint on it, but it is horrible. There's paint everywhere. But yeah. What we're gonna do last is make the white not look so extremely white. Like for the highlights, that's good. The white, you want to keep it that way. But for that stuff, I don't know what the fuck that's called. The eye, but whatever the white stuff's called, I don't know. Would it just be called eye white? That'd be really weird. It's an awful name. But you know. So what you're gonna want to do. Shadow is not grey but blue. We've already explored that. Although paint's grey, we use that right there. But it looks good, so I guess that's okay. What we're gonna want to do is use some of the cobalt blue and spread it along here. I know it seems like a really strong color right now, but remember, First of all, it's gonna dry on you. Second of all, if you don't want it that dark there, move it. Right. See what you did there? Hope you're doing this with me. If you're not, then you're just like me. Like, I literally watch every video there is to find on the internet about crafts, and somehow I didn't do any of them. I did 2 of the art purse videos. Yeah. And then one that was kind of similar to it, that one painting that was kind of like inspired by an art video, but was not what she made at all. And then the rest of my works from there on have all been originals, because I like the creativity, the freedom that goes into that, into creating an original. You can do whatever you want, you could create your imaginary world. And I did actually think about that, like, that I could actually just, start drawing a world, and it'd be just like a world that I wanted the world to be like. But then I realized that I don't have time for that shit because I have school, and also it'd be fucking impossible because you need to design every nook and cranny in there. That's just hard work. Respect to people that do, though. I don't know if anyone does. It just seems like a lot of fun, though. It seems like a lot of fun. But yeah, I think that was it.